When Hashem gives you all the money in the world, and you don't do the right thing by Him, He'll start sending you tests. Even when Hashem doesn't give you money, and you don't do the right thing, He'll give you tests. As we all know, the world has changed. If you ask your parents, your grandparents, and you ask them, how was the world when you were a kid, when you were my age? You'll never hear, no, it's the same thing. It doesn't exist. Why? Because we find ourselves, according to the Torah, in the time that we call the end of times. Anyone that watches the news for 5 minutes can realize the Third World War already started. It's just quiet. Before Russia sent all of their planes and helicopters and jeeps and tanks, they sent a ship with 200 atomic bombs to Syria. Accordingly, they're saying that it's to fight ISIS. I don't know why you need even one atomic bomb for ISIS. So whoever buys that story is a fool. If that wasn't enough, since that was September of last year, if the 200 atomic bombs were already used up, we need some more. So about 2 months ago, they sent a submarine, that's the biggest submarine in the world, with more atomic bombs than the original ship. We just don't know how many. This is also for ISIS. So we realize that this is not for ISIS. You don't need to be Einstein. You see that the United States is heating up every day. Everyone wants to fight. Israel is becoming the most hated country in the world on a regular basis. It's actually becoming popular to be anti-Semitic. A recent study of just a couple of years ago said that over 40% of Americans consider themselves anti-Semitic. This is our allies. Missiles are being shot at us in Israel on a regular basis. Jews are being beat up all over the world, some of them being killed, Hashem Erachem. I think there was a few incidents in Brooklyn as well recently. The world is not the same. The world's heating up. According to the Nevuot, according to the prophecies that you can find all over the Gemara, all over the book of Ezekiel, Zechariah, and also even the Chamisha Chumshe Torah, we have every single sign we need for the end of times, except one, the Mashiach himself. If you go to the last page of the Gemara, Masechet Sotah, page 49, it says, these are the things that are going to happen at the end of times before the Mashiach comes. When you read it, which I did a few days ago in a shiur in Staten Island, anyone that wants to watch it and get some serious Yirat Shamayim, but seriously get the truth and wake up, you listen to it and it's like reading the newspaper. The daily news. Everything they said is going to happen, which was unheard of in those times, is happening as we speak. So Hashem had to speed up things. He said, my son, I love you, but you're a Rasha. You have all this money and you're justifying giving tzedakah and helping people, and you think that that's enough. You gamble with the parnasah that I gave you, even though it's relatively to what I had, it was nothing. If I gambled $50,000, it didn't really mean much. But nonetheless, you do nothing for me. You're not fulfilling your purpose. And if you don't fulfill your purpose, which is learning Torah and observing it, I don't need you. What's my source? My source is the Torah. When we left Egypt, the next parasha after we left Egypt starts with the word Vayihi. In general, any parasha that starts with the word Vayihi means tsar, means sorrow. Why was Am Yisrael in sorrow after they left Egypt? They just left slavery. Why would they be in sorrow? Because later on it says Chamushim left Israel, or left Mitzrayim. What's Chamushim? Chazal explains it. It's 1 out of 5. 20%. 20% of Am Yisrael, or Bnei Yisrael, left Egypt. What happened to the other 80%? 80% died. Hashem killed them, Makat HaChoshech. Darkness, plague. But then there's an interesting midrash in Me'am Loez. Me'am Loez was written about 300 years ago by a genius, Rabbi Kuli. I highly recommend you buy the series, or at least buy a few of the first books and start reading the series. It gives you at least 500 to 600 sources of whether it's Gemara, Zohar, Sifrei Tzadikim, all types of things for every single verse in the Torah, and it puts it in a story format. Go to moznaim.com. I do not own the company, so I don't make any money from it, but I highly recommend it. Very, very enjoyable series. And according to the Midrash, and you know Midrash is part of the oral Torah. It's part of the Torah we got from Mount Sinai. Midrash says no. Chamushim does not mean 1 out of 5. Chamushim means 1 out of 500,000. Which means that only 2 of Bnei Israel survived Egypt out of every million. 99.98% died in darkness plague. Why? They didn't want the Torah. Hashem created the Torah 974 generations before He created earth, before He created mankind, before Am Yisrael was even something we knew it existed. Which means that the purpose of the world is the Torah, before the Jews. If the Jews, Chas v'Shalom, rejected the Torah in Mount Sinai, according to the Gemara, Masechet Avodah Zarah, Hashem would have destroyed the world instantly. No second chance. No tshuva. No give it to another nation because the other nations already rejected it. So now we have ourselves a dilemma. Whether it's 80% or 99% is irrelevant. The point is that Hashem is not kidding.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.